From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
Good evening, I'm Amin Hetiarachi and here are today's headlines. The President signs documents on the extradition of Arjuna Mahendran. The Premier says he agrees with the request made by His Eminence the Cardinal calling for an independent Presidential Commission of Inquiry regarding the Easter Sunday attacks. Stern action to be taken against the increase in the price of wheat flour. The Enterprise Sri Lanka exhibition begins in Jaffna tomorrow. It has been revealed the majority of children who commit or attempt suicide suffer from psychiatric disorders.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. President Maithripala Sirisena today signed the documents which are to be lodged with the Singaporean government for the extradition of former Central Bank Governor Arjun Mahendran in connection with the Central Bank bond scam. The dossier is expected to be sent to the government of Singapore by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs speedily. The documents to get down Arjun Mahendran were compiled by the Attorney General, and the 21,000-page dossier needs to be forwarded to the relevant department in Singapore. The President perused all the required documents relevant for the extradition of the former Central Bank Governor at the Presidential Secretariat today. Thereafter, in his capacity as Minister of Defence, the President ratified the documents.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says he agrees with the request made by His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith calling for an independent Presidential Commission of Inquiry to be appointed to seek the truth pertaining to the Easter Sunday attacks. The Premier expressed these views while participating at a ceremony held at Kadawat Sathara Divisional Secretariat in Galle today. The Southern Province Office of Department of Registration of Persons, through which one-day NIC issuing service can be available in urgent situation, was vested with public by the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. The office, which is located within Kadawat Sathara Divisional Secretariat, provides one-day service to any citizen from any part of the country. The Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said terrorism that transpired on Easter Sunday was contained within 2 or 3 months and normalcy prevailed in the country. The Premier further noted the Presidential Commission of Inquiry was appointed to inquire into the attacks, and Parliamentary Select Committee has also been appointed to probe into the attacks. It is noteworthy to say, since the proceedings of the Parliamentary Select Committee on probing Easter Sunday attacks are open to the media, nothing can be hidden. The Premier, commenting on the request made by His Eminence the Cardinal for an independent commission, said, "There is no harm in going for such a commission." However, the report of all commissions appointed in this regard and reports of the Parliamentary Select Committee will be taken into consideration to determine the course of the attacks and what needs to be done in the future.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා පත් කරු කොමිටියේ වාර්තාවයි ළඟදී අපේ තේරුම්කාරක සභාවේ වාර්තාවයි ඒ දෙකමත් අරගෙන සලකලා බලලා තව මාස 6ක් 7ක් 8ක් ඕනනම් කරුණු හොයලා බලලා අපි මොකද්ද සිදු වුණේ මොකද්ද අනාගතයට කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා මේ සමාජයට මේ කොමිටි දෙකේ නැති කරුණු දිහත් බලලා වාර්තා කරන්නට කොමිෂාවක් පත් කරන එකත් හොඳයි කියලා මම කාඩිනල් උතුමාණන්ගේ අදහස එක්ක එකඟ වෙනවා. ඒ ගැන අපි පියවර ගන්න තිබෙනවා. ඒ ගැනත් දැන්
Meanwhile, the newly constructed 3-story building for Baddegama Divisional Secretariat was also declared open by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. The new building consists of an auditorium and office space. The cost involved has been 87 million rupees. In addition, 80 Samruddhi beneficiaries were awarded entitlements, while financial aid for housing development and a number of welfare activities were carried out under the patronage of the Premier. A number of guests were also in attendance.
Minister Sajid Premadasa says the necessary building facilities with classroom space for students to engage in their school education and Dhamma education will be addressed fully before the end of 2025. The minister expressed these views participating in the event organised to vest with the students the Dhamma school building constructed at the Siri Gunaratana Rama Viharaya at Monarabava in Vanathavilluwa, Puttalam today. This Dhamma school building was constructed under the Sisudaham Sevena program and consists of all required facilities. The Central Cultural Fund has spent 4 million rupees for this purpose. Addressing the gathering, the minister said opposition politicians are voicing all sorts of allegations on the development projects launched by him.
A discussion between Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and seniors of the United National Party was held at Temple Trees this morning. The discussion, which commenced at 10:30, continued for around 2 hours. It is reported the discussion focused on the presidential candidate to be announced by the United National Party. Speaking to the media, Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Pereira said thereby a decision was taken to organize a meeting between Prime Minister and Minister Sajid Premadasa. Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Pereira said they have 3 potential candidates: the Speaker, the Prime Minister and Minister Sajid Premadasa. Therefore, he said the Prime Minister clearly stated that a speedy decision needs to be taken without misunderstanding, since if confrontations arise in the mentality of the UNP voter base will crumble. Thereby, today it was discussed to have a meeting between Prime Minister and the Minister Sajid Premadasa. He further stated today all of them agreed to clearly state after the meeting that who will be nominated to contest for the presidency and who will be nominated for the premiership. Meanwhile, speaking at a media briefing held today, Deputy Minister Nalin Bandara expressed his views on the presidential candidate of the United National Party. Deputy Minister Nalin Bandara said he believes the Prime Minister, as the leader of the party who secured the party during trying times, will take the right decision for the future benefit of the party. He expressed 100% confidence in this respect. Responding to a query raised by a journalist as to why the nomination of presidential candidate is still being delayed, the Deputy Minister said there is absolutely no urgency to name the presidential candidate as nominations have not still been called. He further stated the Prime Minister knows very well to declare the presidential candidate at the right time. He possesses high level of skill when it comes to such political matters.
A discussion between the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held today. This was their 8th round of discussions. The discussion, which was held at the opposition leader's office this evening, focused on performing a common alliance and was attended by General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Dayasiri Jayasekara, and a number of party seniors. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa, G.L. Piris and Dallas Alaha Peruma attended representing the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
The Prima company has notified its sales representatives to increase the price of kilo of a wheat flour by 5 rupees and 50 cents. However, the Director General of the Consumer Affairs Authority, MSM Fauser, says the price increase cannot be effected without the approval of the authority. With the increase in price of wheat flour, bakery owners' unions held a media briefing and said with effect from midnight today, the price of a loaf of bread will be increased by 2 rupees, whilst the price of other bakery products and food items at eateries will also be increased.
The Enterprise Sri Lanka exhibition commences at Mutraveli in Jaffna under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe tomorrow. The Enterprise Sri Lanka initiative is organized by the Ministry of Finance, focused on bringing about 100,000 new entrepreneurs. The exhibition in Jaffna focuses on uplifting indigenous industries of the Jaffna district whilst giving priority to the industrial, agricultural, fisheries and tourism sectors. Amongst the chief objectives of this initiative is to bring a practical level credit facilities needed for business upgrading. In addition, attention is also focused in empowering the entrepreneurships of the North whilst encouraging the entrepreneurial skills of the new generation. The exhibition will spread across several zones, namely entrepreneurships, public and private sector, education, green, innovations, commerce and media. media. At the exhibition, interested individuals can avail advisory services and facilities on launching small-scale entrepreneurships. Minister Mangala Samaravira said, through this Enterprise Sri Lanka exhibition, the capacity for the youth of Jaffna to become aspiring entrepreneurs has been brought within their grasp. He pointed out all banks have opened stalls at the exhibition and their services can be availed. He further stated, since a number of significant aspects have been introduced at this exhibition, he extends an invitation to everyone to be a part of the exhibition, which will be underway from the 7th to the 10th of this month.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya emphasised in Parliament today that MPs should conduct themselves in a manner which the prestige and honour of the House is preserved. The Speaker expressed these views responding to an article published in the print media today. The Speaker Karu Jayasuriya expressed his displeasure on the conduct of MPs in Parliament and said media reports on ministers not being in the House to respond to these questions yesterday was a blow to the reputation of the Parliament. Referring to a tense situation which prevailed in the House yesterday after government postponed the vote on regulations under the Sri Lanka Export Development Act, the Speaker said the government acted in Parliament yesterday in accordance with the standing orders and added it was not a bad precedent as claimed by the opposition. Meanwhile, today the Speaker adjourned the Parliament to the 17th of this month. This was due to obstructions from the opposition which prevented the proceedings of the government proposals that had to be passed in the House today. Chief Government Whip Gayantha Karunatilaka announced the withdrawal of the government's affairs schedule for the day amidst disturbances from the opposition members.
A workshop was held at the Chinese Cultural Center yesterday to introduce Chinese tea from the Yunnan province to Sri Lanka. Titled as The Taste of Chinese Tea from the beautiful Yunnan province, the workshop is a result of global initiatives by China to encourage everyone to appreciate the uniqueness of Chinese culture. The Sri Lanka Tea Board also had the opportunity to engage with the team from Yunnan. The representatives from both sides hosted a dialogue on promoting the tea drinking heritage of both countries as a joint exercise. The event was organized and sponsored with the collaboration of many institutions in Sri Lanka as well as China, which involved the network of international cultural link entities Beijing, the Yunnan Agricultural University, the Yunnan Provincial Library, the Sri Lanka Tea Board and the Universities of Colombo and Kelaniya. Health consultant psychiatrist on childhood and adolescence, Dr. Jayantha Kotalwala, says 60 to 80% of children who commit or attempt suicide suffer from an identifiable condition of psychiatric disorder. He further states, since children can suffer from psychiatric disorders, teachers and parents need to be educated on the matter. Over the past year, over 600 children within the ages of 8 and 25 have committed suicide. The reasons that have led to the suicides have most often been broken love affairs, confrontations amongst peers at school, parent-child conflicts, various forms of abuse and other related reasons. Research shows 1 in 5 school students need the mediation of a psychiatrist. Although the necessity for such mediation cannot be ruled as a psychiatric disorder, the situation the child faces is the condition which is most advisable to be referred to a specialist in mental health. Children also face depression, whilst the symptoms may differ to those manifested in adults. Therefore, identifying them is to an extent difficult. The addiction of adolescents to drugs could be driven by depression. It has also been noted the extensive use of media and electronic devices, stress and loneliness can lead to depression. It is totally unacceptable to corner or insult such children. In order to secure their future, it is most necessary to seek medical attention.
A shooting incident in Siambalagoda area in Akrasa this morning resulted in 2 police officers sustaining injuries. The incident took place as they were patrolling the area in their motorbikes. A motorcycle without a number plate ridden by 3 individuals had fled ignoring signals to stop. When the police made chase, 1 individual had opened fire at the police motorcycle. The 2 injured police officers were admitted to Akrasa Hospital and thereafter transferred to the Marthara Hospital for further treatment. The police media spokesman SP Ruan Gunasekara said they suspect that the shooting was carried out using T-56 weapons, as 13 empty cartridges used in T-56 weapon were found at the scene of the crime. He further stated the police are now of the view that the attack may have been carried out by an organized criminal gang that attempted to flee the police officers who were on duty. The Akrasa police are carrying out further investigations to apprehend the criminal threesome who are on the run. An individual was shot at while seated in a bus commuting from Aludgama to Alpitia around 8 a.m. this morning. The Alpitia police states the victim, who is 41-year-old father of two, was pronounced dead on admission to Alpitia Hospital. The suspect had reportedly arrived in a motorcycle with another individual and had fled after carrying out the attack. The victim is said to have been on his way to appear before the Alpitia District Court in a land lawsuit. Per police media spokesman SP Ruan Gunasekara said when the commotion arose after the shooting, the bus driver had stopped the vehicle, and it is suspected that it is at that moment the attacker would have fled the scene. He further stated police suspect a land dispute may have been the result of this shooting incident. The police also suspect a 9mm pistol may have been used, as 5 empty cartridges used in such a pistol was found in the bus. CCTV footage is being obtained to assist in the investigations.
The 54th Pakistan Defence Day was held at the Cinnamon Lakeside premises yesterday. Pakistan High Commissioner Major General Dr. Zaid Ahmed Hazman, Pakistan's Defence Advisor Colonel Sajjad Ali, Commander of the Sri Lanka Army Shavendra Silva, Defence Secretary General Shantha Kottegoda, former Army Commander Mahesh Senanayake and the commanders of the Tri-Forces were in attendance at the event. The cooperation extended by Pakistan during the 3-decade-long conflict was highly appreciated. The Pakistan High Commissioner called to mind that bilateral relations between the two countries have always remained firm.
The Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation has launched the SLBC app, which enables listeners to tune into its channels via online live streaming. This is a significant milestone in the history of the national broadcaster, which hopes to expand the reach of the listeners. The app was vested with the listeners by the Minister of Mass Media, Ruan Vijayawardena, yesterday. The SLBC app can be downloaded from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Listeners will get the opportunity of live streaming the Sinhala National Service, the Sinhala Commercial Service, City FM, Kandurata FM, the Tamil National Service and Tamil Commercial Service, which is Tendral, and Radio Sri Lanka, which is the English service of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The introduction of the SLBC app is a remedy to the interruptions experienced by overseas listeners as well as local listeners when tuning into these channels. The novel concept of the chairman of SLBC, Malaka Thalwatta, the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation commenced transmission as the first broadcaster in Asia in 1925 under the radio called Colombo Radio, which later changed to Radio Ceylon. Its responsibility was to make the news, knowledge and entertainment available to its listeners. As always, at the event, veteran vocalist Umaria Singhavansha was awarded with an AS grade certificate in vocalization.
The Attorney General stated before the Colombo High Court today that as of 21st April 2019, which is when the Easter Sunday attacks took place, 347 reports on Zahran Hashim and his terror outfit were submitted to the IGP and the former Defence Secretary by the State Intelligence Service. IGP Pujija Sundara and former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando are currently on bail. The revision application presented by the Attorney General calling on the court to cancel their bail was taken up before Colombo High Court Judge Vikum Kaluarachi today. Appearing on behalf of the Attorney General, the Deputy Solicitor General said since 2016, 131 intelligence reports were sent for the attention of the IGP. At the case, it was revealed the B report produced in court by the CID has not been taken into consideration when granting bail to the IGP and former Defence Secretary. It was also stated the Magistrates Court does not have the jurisdiction to permit bail for an offence committed under Clause 290 of the Penal Code. Thereby, the Deputy Solicitor General sought the cancellation of bail through the court. The case will be taken up next for hearing on the 19th and 20th of this month. United People's Freedom Alliance MP Chandrasiri Gajadira has passed away. He was 73 years at the time of demise. The late MP Gajadira entered Parliament for the first time in 1994, representing the Mathura district. During his tenure in politics, he has functioned as a minister as well as a deputy minister.
The all shares price index closed at 5,798.57 points, dropping by 51.68 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,817.76 points, also dropping by 42.18 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was 631 million rupees. Here's a summary of the market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today.
Sri Lanka secured victory in the match played against Nepal in the Asia Cup Under-19 cricket tournament played at the R. Premadasa Stadium today. The match was restricted to one innings and 42 overs. Batting first, Nepal scored 159 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 42 overs. In reply, the Sri Lanka side secured victory in 33.4 overs with the loss of just 3 wickets. Kamil Mishara scored 55. The finals of the 33rd Rupavahini Youth Volleyball Tournament was played at the Maharagama Youth Council Indoor Stadium today. In the Challenge Championship men's final event, the Karagal Rantharu team secured victory, defeating the Gampha Dilenatharu team 3-1. The Sri Lanka Army and the Sri Lanka Air Force qualified for the Super League men's final. The Army won the first round, whilst the second and the third rounds were won by the Air Force. However, victory in the fourth and the fifth rounds went to the Army, resulting in the Sri Lanka Army winning the championship in the Super League round 3-2.
The 31st Mahavali Sports Festival commences at the Mahavali ground at Bisopura in Madhuragiri tomorrow. The 34 sporting events will be conducted at the sports festival, which will be held tomorrow and the day after. The concluding ceremony will be held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena on Sunday.
And before we wind up, let's have a quick look at the weather. Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western Sabaragamu, central, southern and northwestern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in Uva province and in Ampara and Batticaloa districts after 2 p.m. Wind speed can increase up to 50 kilometers per hour at times in northern, northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee district. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. On the apparent southward relative motion of the sun, it is going to be directly over the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 27th of August to the 7th of September this year. The nearest towns of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead tomorrow are Magalla, Telijjavala, Yatiana, Balakanda, Kumbaldeniya and Tangol about 12:10 noon.
And that's it for tonight's English news broadcast. Thank you for joining us.
Have a pleasant night.
Good night.